So I've had this new Bambu Labs A1 combo for about a week now. The real question is, did I decide to keep it or am I about to yeet it? Stick around and find out what I decided to do. Hey gang, welcome back to the channel. We're gonna mix things up a little bit today, so if it isn't blatantly obvious, I got a new 3D printer. Now, I already own two. I own a couple Prusa printers, and they've been great. But I thought, you know what? I want to try and see what some of these newfangled printers are. So I went ahead and I spent some hard-earned money, and I bought this A1 combo. So you know, when Prusa entered the game, it was kind of revolutionary, and they've really done a lot for the 3D printing industry. And so, like I said, I'm going to see what we got. So we're going to do a quick unboxing. We'll do a little bit of, I guess, you know, my initial thoughts on this. Hopefully we'll get to the point where we take a look at a first print or so, and I'll just give you my overall impressions. I'll probably do a follow-up video kind of comparing the A1 combo here to my Prusa printers, but yeah, well, you know, let's get into it. Now, before we crack into this box here and see what's included, I just want to go over some prices as of the time of this recording. Now, I ordered this on December 30th, 2023. It was delivered today, which is January 8th, 2024. So what's that, about 9 days in shipping? And of course, we had the new year in there as well. I paid $5.59 for this combo, and then I got a couple of accessories or extras. So I got some, I wanted to try Bambu's 3D filament. Now most of the parts I print are in PETG, so I wanted to give that a shot. Excuse me. So I ordered this PETG Basic on a roll. It was $27.99, and they give you an $11 discount for adding it on to your initial order. I got a couple other little add-ons as well. Haven't even opened these yet. One, I ordered some replacement filament cutters. It was $3.99. I'm not even sure if these are for the A1, because after I ordered it, I think the description said for the P1 and the X1, but we'll see. It was only a couple bucks, so not that big a deal. And then this is a screw kit, because you can mount the AMS light on top of the printer, and I thought I might want to go that route. We'll see what I end up doing in the end. So the screw kit was $1.99. Shipping from excuse me, see, I'm so used to Prusa. Shipping from Bambu was $25, and then I paid $45.54 tax. So the total for this kit and my little add-ons there was $652.50. Now, I'm not that big into, I've never done multicolored printing, and honestly the amount of filament that you waste when you print in color, it's kind of a detractor to me. So I pretty much print functionally, not really decoratively. But I thought, hey, I'm you know, investing some money in a new machine here, let me see. And so I took a look at you know, the price difference. To buy the A1 itself is $3.99, and for the combo to get the AMS light is $5.59. So that's $160 for the AMS light. If you try and buy it alone, it's $249. So that's $89 more if you buy the AMS light on its own. Plus, you're going to pay shipping if you know, another order. So you're probably looking over $100 more to buy the AMS light separately if you don't get it in with combo. Okay, so enough of me standing here talking. Everybody wants to see what's in the box. What's in the box? So let's dig in. Okay, so overall unboxing experience, A+. Super well packaged. Very impressed with the way that this thing is packaged. So what do we got real quick before I start putting it together? We've got the various parts of the AMS light here. We've got the filament spools. I think this is the spool holder if you don't use the AMS light and you want to put that on top. Also part of the spool holder, we've got our power cord, we've got our filament tubes, we've got a very small amount of filament that they include with the box. There's some desiccant there that was in the box. I have my build plate, which I believe this is a 256 by 256 build plate. We have our small toolkit. We'll get into that a little bit later. We've got the color swatches. You know, initially when I was reading reviews, I thought this was just a box with a print on it, but it's actually got a whole bunch of samples in there so you can know what all the Bambu colors are, which is pretty cool. And then we have the base plate and the LCD screen. So let's put this sucker together. Okay, so here we go. We got it assembled. Initial thoughts, pretty impressed. A lot of detail. I'll tell you, all they give you is this little quick start guide. It's not that many pages, and maybe only 2/3 of it is even the assembly. So it took me 55 minutes to put all this together, and that's including all the video that I've done to get to this point. So probably normally maybe 15-20 minutes if you're not worried about setting up cameras and lights and all that kind of stuff. Some of the things that I really enjoyed, the little tool set. Hats off to Bambu for including tools that make this job easier. It drives me nuts when they give you these, you know, standard, like the little L-shaped tools, and you get in a tight spot. There's a couple places where you're putting the screws for the build plate together, that if you had that little L shape and it was short, you'd be doing that turn and then take it out and put it back in and turn, you know. It just makes things a lot harder. So good job on the tools. It's nice to see, I think, in a couple different places here for the AMS stand, one extra screw. For the base housing, also an extra screw. And then, of course, I saved the screws that I took out that lock the build plate, even though I ordered the extra screw kit for the AMS. I think initially you reuse these. Just as a comparison, you know, when I bought my Prusa Mark III a couple years ago, granted, I bought it as a kit. I wanted it as a kit. I wanted to know how these things worked, so put it all together. This is the assembly manual for that machine. It took almost 2 days to put that thing together. So pretty nice that you can have a machine like this, you know, out of the box and assembled in, you know, plenty of time to still do other things. And so we are going to fire this thing up for the first time, and hopefully it works. So I see the screen coming on there. That's a good sign. And now look, it even plays little music. We're gonna take this, we're gonna move it into my normal work area, and we'll get some filament loaded and we'll see what's next. Okay, so let's see. We're gonna go through the little startup here. We're gonna set English. We are in North America, and we will get this set to my Wi-Fi, and that is that. And I'll be right back. All right, so we are connected to the network. And let's see. Okay, so this is kind of a new thing for me. I am not accustomed to having an app for my 3D printer, but I did go ahead and download let's see if we can focus this. This is the Bambu Handy app. So we are going to go ahead and add devices. So we're going to hopefully be able to, yeah, there we go. We are confirming, let's see, we are confirm to bind, so it is binding, there we go. So I am now connected to the printer and I can monitor things on my app, so that's pretty sweet. All right, now it looks like the next phase of the setup here is the calibration. So it says vibration compensation about 5 minutes and motor noise cancellation about 7 minutes. We're going to hit start on that, and the machine is going to, I guess, do its thing. So we'll take a look and let that run through its course, and we'll come back when that's complete. Now I will say that this is actually quite quiet. So it's just doing the motor noise cancellation calibration at the moment, but compared to my two other machines, this is actually, it's kind of pleasant to hear. Well, this is kind of a trip. It is doing vibration compensation right now. The y-axis is done, now the x-axis is doing vibration compensation. Okay, looks like the calibration is complete, and so let's get some filament on here and let's get something printing. Alright, this is a nice little surprise. Before we get to printing, it just told me that there was a firmware update available, so it's downloading the firmware and updating. My other printers, if I want to do any kind of firmware updating, I have to download the files and then bring over a thumb drive or an SD card and upload those. So again, kind of a nice surprise. Now, before we load this filament on, a couple things. I wanted to, test this Bambu ecosystem essentially, so I did get the one roll of Bambu branded filament. A couple cool things. The spools are reusable, so you can order it with this plastic spool, and then there's actually a cardboard insert that the filament comes on, so you can just buy refills and that'll save you money, and then you're not throwing away these spools all the time. They have this little clear gauge on here, so you can kind of get an idea of how much filament that you have left. And then this right here, let's see if I can kind of focus. That little disc right there is an RFID tag. There's probably one on both sides here. And the AMS actually reads that RFID, so it should know that this is PETG. So let's see what happens when we slap this on there. All right, so it did actually start to load kind of automatically there, and let's see, let me get you a better view. So you can see there that the screen is now reading for AMS number 2 that it does have PETG loaded into it. And once I hit the load button on there, it's now heating up the nozzle, and it looks like it will go through that little kind of checklist there and make sure that everything is loading fine, and then we will try our first print. All right, now it says it's purging the old filament, and it will poop some out. Probably not the greatest direction for that to go, but it is now loaded, so on to the next step. Now, one of the interesting things about this printer and the Bambu ecosystem is that with this handy app, you can actually go online and find things to print. Now, this printer comes with these, the blade and screws for this scraper grip. I don't know if I'll ever use it because I don't really like using metal tools on the build plate, but anyway, we're just going to use this for a first print because, you know what, I don't need another Benchy. So I'm going to hit prepare to print and hit print. Now it wants to automatically assign, because this is a 2-color print and it was originally designed for PLA, it's giving me an error here saying that it cannot automatically match the filament assignments. So if I come down here and just hit enable AMS and then tell it that I want to use Bambu and I have PETG basic, and then we will hit print now. So it is sending the print job over to the machine, and the machine says that we are downloading. And it tells me it's going to take 1 hour and 38 minutes to print this. And so it looks like we are off to the races. It's probably going to... Okay, it's time for my final thoughts on this printer. I'm definitely going to keep it. Bottom line, I'm very impressed with this printer. I've got some notes here on my initial impressions. Now I'm going to do a much more thorough review, so keep an eye on the channel, but let me run through this. So first of all, it's a very quiet printer. Now if you're printing at really high speeds, it's going to make more noise than if you're just printing at regular speeds. But for what I'm doing, this thing is great. It's in my bedroom now. It is the quietest of the 3 printers that I have, so I'm really happy about that. Secondly, it's very easy to use. You do have to be careful when you're printing from the Maker World via the Handy app on your phone. You never know how other people sliced it. When you see my further review, you'll see some problems that I ran into that, but we'll touch more on that later. The Handy app, it's really handy. From my phone, I can see the print, I can see a video of it. Now the video is really slow. It's like it's about 1 frame every 3 to 4 seconds, but it's enough so that you can tell what's going on. I can see the status of the printer. I can make changes to things like the temperature of the hot end, the bed temperature. I can change the speed of the overall print. So a lot of great things that you can do there. There are also functions of the printer that I can turn on and off. There's a little light on the side. Now at night, that light kind of shines toward my bed. If I don't need it on, I can turn it off while I'm in bed. Just grab my phone. I can also, there's a sound when you start a print or stop a print, or the print finishes, it plays this little song. I can turn that off from my phone. So again, really, really handy. That app actually has they call it the machine assistant. So if there's problems with the printer, like a loose belt or something, the machine assistant will send you a notification. When the prints are done, I get a notification on my phone. That's amazing. Now, what I have here in front of me are these color swatches. These are great. You know, initially it came in this box. First I thought the box was just like printed with the colors, you know, and it was just kind of packaging. But no, there were actually all these little swatches. They were all put on a kind of an elastic band. They all have these little holes in them. But they put these holders on the SD card. It does come with a 32 gigabyte SD card, and you can print these out. You'll need to print 4 of them, and then these little swatches just pop right in. Now the really cool thing about these swatches that I'm holding upside down on that one is every one of them has a printing on the front that tells you exactly what it is. So ABS 40601, PLA Basic 100603. So I can look at this and I have a physical copy of the color and the texture and all of those things. And so if I've got a project and I want a specific color, I want something, you know, a little more exotic, like right here I've got PLA carbon fiber, I've got PETG carbon fiber, I think there's an ABS carbon fiber on here as well. But I can look at this and I know exactly what I'm going to get if I order Bambu's filament. So that's really cool too. There's no babysitting with this printer. Now with my Prussias, when I start a print, just because of the nozzle will start to drip filament, and if that doesn't get removed on that initial kind of purge run that it does, then a blob can pop off in the middle of the print and it's on the bed and it's gonna mess up my print. So I'm almost always at my printers as they start to remove that, you know, any kind of drips or drops. And I always have to check that first layer to make sure that there's nothing weird going on. Then I can let the print finish. But with this, it takes care of everything. That nozzle wiping function is absolutely amazing. Once I hit print, doesn't matter if it takes 6 or 7 minutes to start the print, because I don't have to be around. I don't have to watch it. I don't have to worry that it's going to mess things up if I'm not there babysitting. Although I won't use the AMS too often, it does have a few drawbacks that I didn't initially realize, like it cuts the filament off at the end of every print, and so it has to reload that. Even if you only have one loaded, it's going to reload that, and so you're going to end up with a little more waste. So if I'm doing single color printing, I just disconnect the AMS. It's got the single spool holder, so that's no problem. I am glad that I bought it though, because that's going to be fun down the road. Take a look at the A1 wiki. I'll post a link down in the description. There's a lot of good information on there. This little book, it kind of stops it once you get things set, and it'll tell you to do your first print from a file that's on the SD card, but all of the other features, functions, stuff that's on the Handy app, Maker World, calibration, all that kind of stuff is on the wiki. So the calibration functions are really, really useful, but you're only going to see about those on the wiki. And then finally, you got to be prepared for the poop. The Prushas don't poop. This one does. It's just how it deals with filament, making sure that things are good. But it's not that big a deal. There's all sorts of files out there. This is a bin that slides right up next to the printer, and so the poop just goes in here. They've even created a little, it's just something that clips onto the printer so that when it shoots the poop out, it actually hits this and falls into the bin, keeps it from going anywhere else. So you got to be prepared for that, but it's not that big a deal. I'm glad I got it, and the prints are just amazing. I've printed a number of things. This is the scraper tool that comes with it. There's a file on there to print this, so that's kind of fun. I've printed a few things that I sell in my Etsy shop. The quality is amazing. They look even better than anything that I've had before, and there's just all sorts of handy files out there. So am I going to keep it? Absolutely. Super happy that I purchased this printer. And again, stick around the channel. You can take a look at the in-depth review that I'm going to do here shortly. I'll do some comparisons against the Prusa printers that I own as well. So as always, if you're enjoying what I'm doing here on the channel, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell. That way you'll be notified the next time I drop a new video. Once again, thanks for hanging around with me. Normally I tell you, let's keep on learning and burning together, but obviously this is a 3D printing video, so if you're new to the printing world, if you have any questions, drop them below, but welcome, and let's just keep on learning together. We'll see you soon. Bye.